There was a camp that no one in the village liked. It sat just beyond the tree line, all steel fences, floodlights, and men with rifles who never answered questions. They said it was a research facility. They said everything was under control. But at night, the ground sometimes trembled, and the animals in the forest went silent. Inside the camp were cages too large for any normal creature, and inside the largest cage was something they called Subject 47, a predator from another age. Massive, scarred, intelligent. It didn't roar often, it watched. One storm-heavy evening, the power flickered. Rain hammered the metal roofs. A young guard made a mistake, a latch not fully sealed. Subject 47 noticed. It always noticed. The lights died for 3 seconds. That was all it needed. When the backup generators kicked in, the cage door hung open, bent outward. The alarm began to scream, but the dinosaur was already gone. It crashed through the outer fencing like paper and disappeared into the forest, moving fast, low, purposeful, toward the village. The first sign was the dogs. They started howling, then yelping, then silence. Then came the shaking. Windows rattled, chickens scattered, and from the darkness between the houses emerged a shape no one could understand, tall as a rooftop, teeth like curved knives, eyes reflecting torchlight with cold awareness. It wasn't just wild, it was hunting. A man ran. He didn't make it 10 steps. The creature moved with terrifying speed. One snap, and the screaming stopped. Panic exploded through the village. "Run! Get inside! Help us!" Children cried. Doors slammed. But wood and locks mean nothing to something built to dominate entire ecosystems. The dinosaur smashed through carts, crushed walls, tore through anything that moved. And then a single gunshot rang out. Not panicked, not random, precise. The creature turned. Standing in the middle of the chaos was a man the villagers knew but never truly understood. Arjun. Quiet. Lived alone at the edge of the village, scar across his jaw, eyes that had seen things no farmer ever should. He held a heavy rifle, old but modified. He did not run. He studied the dinosaur's stance, its breathing, the rhythm of its steps. He had seen creatures like this before, years ago, in another failed containment. Another mistake. The dinosaur charged. Arjun fired not at the head, at the leg joint. The bullet struck. The beast staggered, roaring in fury. Not the skull, Arjun muttered. Too thick. He moved strategically, drawing it away from homes, firing only when necessary, always repositioning. The ground shook with every step of the monster. It lunged. He rolled beneath a collapsing cart, barely escaping its jaws. Its tail whipped, smashing into a wall. The village square became a battlefield of dust and splintered wood. Back at the camp, guards heard the distant screams. Then the second alarm triggered. Perimeter breach confirmed. They saw the direction of destruction. The village. Trucks roared to life. Armed men loaded heavy-caliber weapons, tranquilizers, and tracking gear. When they reached the outskirts, they saw chaos, and one man fighting something that should not exist. Arjun shouted without turning, "Aim for the joints! Slow it down!" The guards hesitated only a second, then followed his lead. Gunfire thundered in coordinated bursts. The dinosaur shrieked, spinning violently, knocking 2 men aside with its tail. It charged toward the loudest threat, the trucks. Arjun saw its shift in focus. "Now!" he yelled. A synchronized barrage hit its weakened leg. The joint snapped. The massive creature collapsed, shaking the earth. But even fallen, it was deadly. It dragged itself forward with horrifying determination, mouth snapping, eyes burning with rage. One guard fumbled his weapon. The beast lunged. Arjun sprinted forward, climbing onto the creature's back as it thrashed. He drove a specialized blade carried all these years into the softer gap beneath its skull. A final deafening roar tore through the night. Then silence, heavy, still. The dinosaur's body went limp. Smoke drifted. Men stood frozen. Villagers slowly emerged from hiding. Children clung to their parents. The nightmare was over. The camp commander approached Arjun. "You've done this before." Arjun stepped off the creature, breathing hard. "Not all monsters belong in cages," he said. "Some should never be brought back." By sunrise, the body was hauled away. The fences at the camp were reinforced. The villagers gathered in the square, shaken but alive. They looked at Arjun differently now. not as the quiet outsider, but as the man who stood when others ran. And as the sun rose over repaired homes and grateful faces, peace returned to the village. But beyond the tree line, the camp light stayed on all night. The end